Hey guys, how are you? Camilo here. I was just watching Aaron Rashkin's training module in the 15K per month formula. And he's talking about what to do, how to create this idea of this language of success. Okay, so when you're dealing with nurturing your list and building rapport, which is really the objective here, guys. I can't tell you how many times I see a Facebook post on someone's, I bought a share on the last co-op and I got 300 clicks and 100 people opted in, not a single sale. Well, you're not trying to sell people on the spot. You're trying to build rapport with folks so that they can choose to lock arms with you as opposed to somebody else. I mean, you're not the only person promoting Empower or your network marketing company or your tool or whatever. You're competing. This is business, right? So you've got to give people a reason to choose you over somebody else. And that's the whole process of building rapport, of getting to that point where people get to know, like, and trust you. And that happens over a period of time. Okay, and everyone's going to be different because everyone's going to be grouped into different personality groups. So your job is to speak their language, to engage them in such a way where through this idea of the language of success, you can get more opens, more clicks, and ultimately more conversions. Well, one thing that Aaron talks about is allowing people to see your vulnerable side. And I think this really makes a lot of sense. I've actually struggled with this because, I'm a very proud person. I don't like people to know that I have struggled in life or that I've made mistakes. But the reality is that I am human. We all are, and we all make mistakes. Okay? Over the last 6 years, I've made my fair share, and I've done some really great things in my life. I've made a lot of money. I've had great successes, great wins, but I've done some pretty dumb things. And dumb things have gotten me into bankruptcy, foreclosure. I've been unemployed for 14 months. I've watched my entire 401k disappear. My marriage ended. I mean, it's been peaks and valleys, valleys, peaks. So what? So what if someone knows that? I realize I actually now want you to know that it's okay to be human, to fall, as long as you get back up and you keep going. That's the important thing. And I now want to be a source of inspiration and a beacon, to say, look, you're gonna fall down. It's a given. Baseball players that make it to the Hall of Fame, as a hitter, strike out or make an out 7 out of 10 times. Okay, but they're in the Hall of Fame because 30% of the time they got on base, they hit the ball. So it's okay. I think that more importantly, I want you to know that if I can do it, so can you. Guys, did you know that I actually worked with Lawrence Tam 2 years ago? Lawrence Tam, for those of you who don't know, he's one of the top earners in Empower Network. He makes over $100,000 a month now. That guy was not making that kind of money 2 years ago when I personally worked with him. He sponsored me into a network marketing company back in the day. So to watch him go through this growth and see him do it, unbelievable. You know what the difference was between Lawrence and someone like me? I quit. Fair and simple. I quit 2 years ago. Someone offered me a job at a startup, and I took that. I took the steady paycheck, and I went to do that. He didn't. He stuck with what he was doing, his conviction. And even though at some point you'll hear him say that he almost quit until he went to that awesome Costa Rica retreat with David Wood a couple of years ago, if he hadn't done that, he would not be where he is today, but he did. But the cool thing about that whole thing, guys, is that he's just a normal guy, just like you and I. He's made mistakes. He's tried things that haven't worked out, but he kept at it. And so now the fruit of his labor has made him rich. Okay, as it has for so many other people in our industry, in our company, in our teams. And the important thing is that if you can convey to someone that, hey, we all start here and go through the abyss to get here to the Mecca, to the promised land. If that's the journey for all of us, then guess what? You're in great shape. You're in great shape. So if I can do it, so can you. If Lawrence can do it, so can you. So can I. If David, who lived out of a van, Dave Wood, can do it, so can you. I mean, you may never be the type of speaker that he is. You may never be as good with the neuro-linguistic programming that he studies to be so effective as a persuasive personality. But at the end of the day, you can do anything you want if you simply just put aside the limiting beliefs, the limiting stories that you tell yourself as to why not, and you just accept that it's possible for you to. And one way that you can validate that is to see other people who may be more or less gifted than you, more or less talented than you, more or less experienced in marketing or business. If they can go out there and do it, then so can you. And I think that's the lesson that Aaron is trying to get across is that at the end of the day, you just want to be able to connect with people and get them to say, hey, man, I relate to you, and I appreciate you telling that story or being honest with me because it gives me hope. It gives me that extra push that I need. And I think that that's really powerful. I wanted to share it with you. And with that said, I'm going to sign off. Hope that you guys have a great rest of your Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you next time. Take care.